So I've been reading Grant Cardone's The 10X Rule, and I came across chapter 22, Successful or Unsuccessful, where he describes a bunch of traits or habits of successful people. I'd like to go through each one and explain why it's important. So let's get right into it. First is have a can-do attitude. This is so important because if you don't believe that you can do something, then you might as well give up. There's no reason to believe that you can't do something and continue trying, because the belief comes first and then the actions come. So it's important to have that. 2 is believe that I will figure it out. This is constantly believing that no matter what's getting thrown at you, you will have a way around it. And this is another thing that gives you the assurance and confidence to keep moving forward in the face of adversity. 3 is to focus on opportunity. A lot of people, when something bad gets thrown at them, they like to think that it's a negative thing. Oh man, this is so sad. When in reality, you can turn that around and believe that that's not a negative thing. Find the opportunity in it. There's always, as Napoleon Hill said, every seed or every adversity comes with a seed of equivalent or greater benefit. So that's important. Number 4 is love challenges. Again, a lot of people see a challenge as a problem, but instead embrace it. Make that energize you. Be like, I can become so much better because of this opportunity. So you see it and then you move forward. You take it and now it's underneath your belt. And you now know that you can conquer this challenge. It gives you more confidence and you conquer more of your fears. 5 is to seek to solve problems. Again, problems, challenges, very similar. When you have a problem in front of you, try to solve it. Don't give up. Solving it is what gives you power. When you give up, you give power to the problem. Take power away from yourself. 6 is to persist until successful. This goes along with never giving up. Basically, most people end up giving up right away when they have a problem, whereas what you need to do is realize that most people don't persist long enough to see the problem to its end. 7 is to take risks. If you're not taking risks, you're not taking any more chances. If you're not taking any chances, you're not growing. If you're not growing, then you'll be in the same spot. So basically, if you're not growing in any sense or not taking any risks, then you're not going to see any new results in life. So you sometimes need to take those risks to move forward. Be unreasonable. Here, he's saying that you basically need to think that some things that people say are impossible are not impossible, and you can definitely do them. So you need to be unreasonable in that sense. People call you unreasonable, and you're completing a lot of tasks. That's usually a good thing. 9 is be dangerous. Basically, if you don't put yourself in the face of danger, that he's saying that you're not taking enough action. If you're not taking enough action, then you're not going to see enough results. So now and then, you need to be a little dangerous in the sense that take a little bit extra risks. 10 is to create wealth. This is an important one because most people believe that getting a job is the end-all be-all. Or completing a task for some money is the end-all be-all. Rather, you should be thinking on how you can create things for other people, basically making a product that's so good, that gives so much value, that it just gives you so much wealth, so much in return, rather than doing a small task for a paycheck. It's a different mindset here. The money always exists, whereas here you are creating opportunities to get you more money versus just taking the money from one other person by doing something. 11 is readily take action. This goes along with the whole mantra of the book, just taking so much action that you basically have to succeed. Action is the one thing that you can control that other people really can't. 12 is always say yes. He's saying here, not always say yes. Like if someone tells you to jump off a bridge, obviously don't say yes, but he's saying to say yes to most things because that will help you grow, tackle new adventures, and be able to solve new problems. 13 is habitually commit. Basically commit to things 100%. Give it your all. Don't ever give anything less than 100%. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Why give anything less of yourself? 14 is go all the way. Very similar. You have to see things through to the end. Pick up a task, see it all the way till the end. Don't give up in the middle. That's pointless because you're not going to pick up many skills along the way. You're going to pick up the skills by seeing something and completing it. Most people take too many things on at once and don't complete anything. If you have to, just take one thing, complete it from the beginning to the end. 15. Focus on now. In reality, now is the present is the only time you can actually affect. You can think about the future. You can plan for the future. You can think about the past. You can reminisce on the past and reflect on how to improve for the future. But the only thing you can affect is right now. So focus on right now. Don't focus too far in the future. 16 is demonstrate courage. Constantly demonstrating something. Courage is something that you can. Courage is something that you need to basically use in order to gain confidence. So whenever you take a leap of courage, you gain more confidence because now you've tackled this fear that you've had. So the more courage that you take, the more times you take something down, the easier it becomes. 17 is embracing change. This goes with taking risks and being more dangerous. If you're not changing anything in your life, then you're not really moving forward. Everything's staying the same, you're not going to be any different. So you need to be willing to accept the change and embrace it. 18 is determine and take the right approach. This kind of shocked me that Grant had this in here because he talks about taking so much action. But here he's saying basically you have to work smart also. You have to figure out the best approach for things and tackle it that way. Don't just go into something blindly. 19 is break traditional ideas. The most successful people are the ones that create new things, create new platforms, such as the iPhone. A cell phone before had a keypad on it. Now it has a touchscreen that allows you to open up so many new doors. Now that's the norm. 20 is be goal oriented. This is very important because every day something new will come in the way, a new problem, a new life situation you have to handle. But you need to focus on your goals every morning and night. Write them down, read them over, make sure that you constantly refocus yourself back towards your goal because that keeps you in line and make sure that your tasks that you're completing day in, day out line up to the goal. 21 is being ambitious. I'm giving you guys this YouTube video and I'm doing this because I believe that a lot of people should be learning this stuff. This is important stuff to take control of your own life. So because of you guys, I'm doing this, not because of other people. So it's really important to have a mission that is higher than yourself to keep you going, to keep you motivated. This ties in with the next one, is 22, is have a high level of motivation. Having the goals and having the bigger purpose behind it makes something feel like fun, not work. This doesn't feel like work to me, this feels like fun. 23 is be interested in results. This one is basically saying if you're not seeing results, then you're really not getting any work done. So you have to focus on constantly getting results. Be results driven. 24 is having big goals and dreams. This ties in with the 10x thinking. It's basically constantly be shattering your limiting beliefs and thinking way beyond that. Why can't I do this? Why isn't this possible? Well, it is. A lot of times we figure out that it is. You just have to think about it. 25 is creating your own reality. This is similar when a lot of people try to impose their beliefs on you through what they've learned through life, but in reality, it's up to you to create your own reality, no one else. If you want to fly in the sky, then you could figure out a way to fly in the sky, whereas most people believe that it's very hard to do that, or impossible to do that. 26 is commit first, figure it out later. This is important because a lot of people like to think about something too much, and the analyzing and the time of thinking about it almost makes them discouraged and not want to tackle something. So if you commit to something first and then figure out the problems later, then you're tied into something. Be like, okay, I'm doing this. I already committed to doing this, so I'm not going to change. So I have to continue to stick with this. 27 is be highly ethical. Grant here is saying that because success is up to you, if you don't go out every single day trying your hardest to get success, then you're basically not being an ethical person. You're stealing the opportunity of success from yourself. 28 is be interested in the group. This is important. The people that surround you affect your mood, the way you work. Excuse me. Your attitude, everything. So it's important that everyone around you is also positive, productive, and has the same mindset. So you always want to be bringing up the rest of the people in your group. This way you're constantly feeding off of each other. You're constantly improving because they indirectly affect the way you feel. 29 is be dedicated to continuous learning. I can't tell you how important this is. So many people, here it says in the book, is the most successful CEOs are reported to read an average of 60 books and attend more than 6 conferences per year, whereas the average American worker reads an average of less than 1 book and makes 319 times less income. What more do you need to know? I think you should constantly be reading, educating yourself. The only way you're going to improve is if you keep educating. It doesn't stop after high school, college, grade school, wherever you stopped. 30s, be uncomfortable. You have to get used to feeling uncomfortable. The feeling of being uncomfortable sometimes is so much that people are afraid to try things that they would love to try. So you have to get used to feeling uncomfortable. And the more you're uncomfortable, the more you're growing. You're trying stuff that you've never tried before, or stuff that you tried and you're afraid of. So you're conquering things. The more you conquer, the more you grow as a person. It becomes easier to conquer more things as you start conquering some things. 31 is reach up in relationships. This is basically having friends or connections or colleagues that are higher up than you, higher status than you. They have more money, maybe have a skill that you'd like to learn, or maybe have friends that you'd like to be friends with. Reach up and always make sure that you're being friends with people who are higher than you. And 32 is be disciplined, making sure that you're disciplined in all areas of life, not just one area. You know, sometimes people are disciplined in one area and let the other areas go. That's not very good advice. You should definitely be disciplined in all areas. Hope you enjoyed this. Tomorrow we'll talk about chapter 23. If you like this book, the link is in the description below. And like this video if you enjoyed the content, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Have a great day.